Pats Nation, what's going on with you? Welcome to another edition of the Ken's Pats Talk Patriots podcast. Guys, it is week 9. The season is flying. The Patriots are 6-2, trying to get to 7-2, taking on a tough, gritty Atlanta Falcons team on Sunday. We got special guests tonight, man. But first off, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are sharing the content, and make sure you are subscribed to the Ken's Pats Talk Patriots podcast. D, what's going on with you, man?
What's up, bro?
Hey, going great, man. It's week 9, man. Week 9. Let's go ahead and let our guests in for the night. We got Berto from the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. What's going on with you?
Man, everything is lovely, man. Appreciate being on the platform. Appreciate the invite, man. I know we chopped it up early on in the year. You had reached out, and the time is here. Like you mentioned, man, this season is flying by, sir. Week 9 already, man.
It's crazy, man. We're already at the midpoint. Falcons, tough team. We just beat the Browns. What was it, 32-13 the final score, D? So we ain't gonna talk too much about that. We about to move on to the Atlanta Falcons, man. First off, let everybody know where you're from and where they can find you at.
Yeah, man. So it's your boy Berto, host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show on YouTube. I make my way around through the NFL circuit. Work for Bleacher Report. Also work for Roundtable Sports exclusively every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. You can find us there, man. NFC South Roundtable. It's where it's at, man. We're just trying to keep busy, man, and just keep pushing this good content out. Tough matchup this week. My Falcons take on your beloved New England Patriots, and it's a little funny because I'm in New England, so it's harder for me being in these parts, bro.
Bro, I asked you pre-show. I said, "How the heck is you in New England and you are you're not a Patriots fan, you're a Falcons fan." But you can say the same to me because I'm in North Carolina. I'm not a Panther fan.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy, man. Let's go ahead and get started, man. Falcons coming off a disappointing loss to the Dolphins, 24-3. Kirk Cousins started. I know y'all had a couple other starters out. What went wrong in that game?
Communication went wrong. The lack of reps that Kirk Cousins obviously showed on the field on Sunday, just a lot of misalignment, misassignments, just not being on the same page with his guys. Sure, he no longer is he no longer has the first team reps, so he's relegated to the second team. But even at that, the wide receivers that were on the field on a limited basis, Casey Washington, who went down, you just couldn't see no connection. Zach Robinson, we all thought that, Kirk Cousins might have had a little bit of Kirktober left in him after last year's magic, but, man, that just darn right just fizzled out. So I would say it's the communication, not having enough reps, just not being in sync with the guys that are on the roster now, just led to that downfall for Kirk Cousins on Sunday. We saw a lot of, hands on the helmet, like, oh, man, like you were supposed to go here. It was just a bad look for Atlanta overall on Sunday versus the Dolphins.
And in terms of the injury report, y'all got banged up a little bit in that game, I was told. How your injury report looking for this week? Who you expect to be playing?
So it's a laundry list. A lot of limited participators in today's injury report. We should be getting a lot of guys back. 4 of them I'm really excited about. Obviously, Michael Penix and Drake London. But on the defensive side, Billy Bowman, our rookie nickelback, who was playing outstanding before he got hurt with the hamstring injury, and also, man, Zach Harrison, man, our bona fide stud in the middle of this Falcons defense, was out with a knee injury. We hope to get him back. They did question him as training camp was finishing. Are you going to play on Sunday? He says that's the plan. Right now, Zach Harrison is the leader amongst defensive tackles in pass rush win rate. So, we missed that sorely on Sunday. So hopefully we can get that going against a New England offensive line that's given up 25 sacks. So we'll see what we can do, man.
Jalen Walker, he'll be playing?
He's trending in the right direction. It's a little bit more murkier with him. You know, those groin injuries, you know, they are pretty tough to rebound back from. We had our own pass rush maven in the back back in the day with John Abraham, and he was notorious for those soft tissue injuries. As you gotta take your time with them. When you ready to come back, that's when he should be allowed to come back. Don't rush anything.
And far as that, did you got the injury report for the Patriots?
Yeah.
I know I see Ramondre Stevenson. I don't know if he's not out tomorrow. I'll start running back. Probably ain't gonna be out there. Christian Barmore, he was upgraded to full. Garrett Bradbury with toe full. You got Stephon Diggs back full, and said Morgan Moses and Kyrus Tonga. So it look like they should be playing. D, you can go ahead. You got anything for him?
Yeah, my question was for like I was telling my boy Ken, like y'all offense on paper, like skill position wise, like y'all should be like a top 5 scoring offense in the league. And man was discussing like what's the problem with that? Sorry about that. Like what's the problem with that? Is that like you think that's a coaching thing or quarterback thing? Like
I don't necessarily think it's a quarterback thing. We got to keep in the front of our memory, right? Michael Penix is starting his 9th or 10th game in the NFL, and everything has looked good for him. Yeah, sure, he has his inconsistencies, his moments, but I put it more on the coaching and how Zach Robinson can really bring out the best out of Michael Penix Jr. You know, this is a young man that came from a spread offense in the University of Washington, and Zach Robinson, kind of lied to us in the training camp process, saying this offense was going to open up. You're going to see different things. Thus far, it's looked a shell of itself from last year and too predictable. That's the notion going around the NFL, that this Falcons offense is way too predictable. We run exclusively out of the pistol, right? And, a lot of people have issues with the pistol. That's, the quarterback lined up in the shotgun form with a running back immediately right behind him. So, you can do a lot of things out of the pistol. It's just Zach right now, he's not showing any range with his play calling whatsoever. It's kind of it's predictable. That's exactly how the best way that I can put it.
And to piggyback on that, like we wasn't like discussing. Me and him both agreed, like it got to be a coaching problem. That offense, you got B. John Robinson, he went top 10. Drake London top 10, Pick top 10, and with the Patriots, we struggle with tight ends, guarding tight ends. Do y'all have any other tight ends besides Kyle Pitts or?
So yes, so Kyle Pitts, obviously, the main guy, but we have Charlie Warner, a UGA Bulldog tight end. What his primary assignments are to block. We use him a lot as a lead block, as that hybrid fullback in our system. We don't really send him out as a pass catcher. We may surprise you every now and again, but it's been so seldomly used in this Falcons offense. He's more primarily the blocker. We also have Tegan Quarantino, who has filled in, but he hasn't seen any snaps or any throws, anything going his way thus far. It's been primarily Kyle Pitts and Charlie Warner at the tight end sets.
In terms of B. John, I want to ask you about the run game again. I mean, y'all got probably a top 5 run game right now, and when that run game is going, I mean, the Falcons are tough to beat. What's going? I mean, what is it? Y'all just don't travel on the road? Do you think y'all in that dome? Y'all play lights out. Y'all beat the Buffalo Bills. Y'all went to Minnesota about a month ago. Y'all beat the Vikings. You think y'all just don't travel well? There's something about on the road. Is the quarterback? What you think is going on? With the road
so I think, honestly, I think it's the word that's being used around, right? It's the predictability within the offense, right? So obviously, when you start off as good as you did, especially like you highlighted that Minnesota Vikings game, right? We ran 12 personnel, 87% of those snaps, during that game, which led to the domination on the road against a Brian Flores led Vikings defense. We rushed for well over 200 plus yards. The thing is, when you start stacking up images or tape, footage, whatever on that, teams they hunker down and they see the nuances to this Falcons offense, and they've studied it so well that they know that when X player is in motion, it's a run to that side, because again, the coaching aspect of it and not being creative whatsoever. Yes, but also the Falcons have struggled on the road as well. We got smacked in the mouth in Carolina, as we all know. We got shut out, and then it's just it hasn't matured as we all wanted to as Falcon fans. But it's the coaching aspect is the reason why we cannot get off of the tarmac, man. We're just on
Yeah.
idle, man, and we
You
we
just
need to get it going, man.
you
We
don't
need to
know
get it
what
going.
Falcon team you're gonna expect because you ran over the Bills on Monday Night Football about 2 or 3
Fact.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Then I mean you got shut out by Carolina
Yep.
about a month ago.
Yep.
Then you just get beat by Miami. You go to
Yep.
Minnesota and win that game, so you don't know what you're gonna get. Have y'all played Tampa, right? Y'all lost to Tampa like on the
We
final
lost
play.
Tampa a very winnable week 1 matchup versus Tampa. 23-20 was
Yeah.
the score, and Bijan exploded out of that game. He was
Yeah.
the receiving threat in that one, led the team in receiving that game. It's just, and also, to the Bijan Robinson situation, right? He's not being properly used. And that's crazy to even say. This is a kid that has already in 9 weeks close to 1,000 scrimmage yard, right? But you look at Bijan, right? And you look at the element of Christian McCaffrey. When you look at the two, everybody says, why don't the Falcons use Bijan Robinson like Christian McCaffrey, right?
Yeah.
Look at what the 49ers were able to do, against us a couple weeks back on Sunday Night Football. They exclusively used Christian McCaffrey in so many ways. And it's and you see that and you get envious of the outcome because, like, man, we got a kid that's, just built just like that. Why aren't we doing the same thing? But again, all signs point back to Zach Robinson not being able to just capitalize on these young, phenomenal superstars that we have on the roster.
So I want to touch on y'all defense because last year y'all was one of the worst defenses in the league, if I am mistaken.
No, you're correct, man.
What you think changed about that? Because I see now that, like, according to some stats, y'all are ranked like top 3 defense in the league this far. And
Yep. So far, the Falcons are still ranked number 2 in the league. Just ahead of them is the Denver Broncos at number 1. The pass defense continues to be the bright spot on this Falcons defense, only allowing quarterbacks to around 150, 160 yards passing so far through 9 weeks, which is great. I think the change overall, obviously the scheme, right? Jeff Obry comes in, he brings in Nate Ollie, a defensive
From the
line.
Jets.
Yeah, from the Jets, right? And you guys know a thing or two about him. And Jeff Ulbrich, he's an aggressive play caller. He's an aggressive coach, right? He was like that as a player, as a linebacker for the 49ers. And he brings that mentality to Atlanta. And I think a lot of the players bought in early on. We did acquire some pieces that obviously has allowed us to, just kind of change the narrative and do a 180 on defense. You go from being dead last in a lot of the categories that are important to being one of the top teams in the NFL right now. I think it's the coaching and the player acquisition. Jalen Walker, of course, we spoke briefly about him. He hasn't made the impact that we all have been wanting, being the 15th overall picks. Obviously, injuries are hindering him. James Pierce Jr. still, it doesn't reflect on the stat sheet with the sacks. He only has a half.
I was just about to ask you about him.
Yeah, but he does affect the quarterback. I think a lot of the interior pressure that's been allowed, it's because James is getting around the tackles and having the quarterbacks move in the pocket. And in the middle of this Falcons defense, of course, Brandon Dorlus, Zach Harris, and Rucka these guys have been able to win their 1v1 matchups and get to the quarterback. So I think it's a combination of just good coaching and finally the players that we've acquired in the past, buying into the system and proving that this is the system that they need to be in.
Do you expect Leonard Floyd to play Sunday? I think he was dealing with a hamstring or something. I think he was back at practice today, though.
Yeah, he's dealing with the hamstring injury currently. He's been okay, not as effective as we've wanted him to be. He only has 1.5 sack thus far. But we will see. And the thing going around Atlanta is next man up, right? If he can't go, then we gotta rely on Arnold Ebiketie, number 17. And of course, it puts more pressure on James Pierce Jr. because obviously the double teams and the wham blocks, those come into play to take him out of the game plan. And there goes the pass rush, right?
What would you say the weakness is of your team, whether it's offense or defense?
So for the defense, run defense is horrendous right now for the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of teams have used our defensive line, which is a little bit smaller than the average NFL defense, to just just use us as a get right game. We seen last week with Devon Achin and Ollie Gordon, they were averaging 4 and 5 yards per carry. Christian McCaffrey was able to just go north and south on us. He rushed for 180 plus yards. So it's that right now. I would say the weakness on this Falcons defense is the run defense, and when that happens, it just makes everything else, just go by the wayside, right? What was effective for us was third down defense at one point. No longer is a strength. Like, we can't get to the quarterback. We can't get him off the field because offenses are living in third and short, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. And it's just a shoe in for a first down. The defense gets gassed. So long story short, it is the run defense right now for these Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. What's some key matchups you're watching for on the offensive side and the defensive side?
So for the offensive side, I just mentioned it, right? It's the run game, right? And I know that Travion Henderson and Romador Stevenson, Drake May, that's your engine right now, running the ball, right? It's a chess game.
Well, the last couple of weeks,
Yeah, for the last couple of weeks. And it's a chess game, right? Does Josh McDaniels really want to test the number 1 rated, passing defense? Or does he look and go, all right, you know what? We've seen teams have success. Let's get the run going to set up the pass, to loosen up, some of the looks that Atlanta may give them. But the main problem, not just being the run defense, is we lost Divine Diablo. And, you guys have Robert Spillane, who was his buddy with the Raiders, right? Spillane is doing phenomenal for you guys. 2 takeaways, 1 sack.
You guys got Caden Ellis, which is Christian Ellis' brother. He plays for the Patriots.
That's also correct. But the player that I'm about to mention is putting more pressure on Caden Ellis, and it's asking Caden to do more than what he needs to, and that's J.D. Bertan.
Okay.
He turned in one of the worst performances of a lifetime as a linebacker.
Number 40, right?
Number 8, brother. We call him number 40. I did a disjustice right now calling that man by his name. But number 40 for Atlanta should be a grocery store bagger at Shaw's or Stop and Shop, wherever you get your groceries, man. In Atlanta, bro, that man's got to pack and go. And he's the major liability on this Falcons defense right now. And you asked on offense, what was that again? I'm sorry.
What would you say the weakness is
for the offense? Well, it could be a combination of 2 things, right? Establishing the run first, right? We're a run first team. I think sometimes the Falcons get too scared and they go away from their natural game calling plan, and they want to turn into a throw first team. We're not that. So it's when we can't get our run game right, then everything falls by the wayside. And then we struggle even still to pass, because obviously it allows defenses to just get into more dimes or big nickel formations to negate or zones to negate the passes. So right now it's a combination of the run game mixed with the passing game would be the weakness.
Moving on to the Patriots a little bit. I know you don't. I mean, you work with Bleacher Report. You do a lot of film breakdown stuff. What's your early impressions of Drake May and the Patriots so far? Right, be
brother,
just as a team. Like, what's your early impressions?
Man, you guys got a real one, right? We hope to be privileged to watching 2 of the top quarterbacks taken in last year's draft. Right now, Drake May, he's at what 2,026 throwing yards, and I think he only threw for 2,200 yards all of last year. So you can already see the growth and matureness of this young man. Josh McDaniel has done an excellent job just really, just bringing this kid up, developing him. That's the key word, development. And he's been great. His margins for error are like incredible. 15 touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
Crazy.
He's a smart, cerebral kid, and you can expect that coming from the Tar Heels, right? From a North Carolina team, not known for trotting out quarterbacks, but man, they had a good one in their program, and now he's reaping the benefit being paired with Josh McDaniels, running the that offense as effectively as you guys do. You guys run a lot of 2 tight end sets with Hunter Henry and former Falcon Austin Hooper, which still burns that he's on the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
And you guys did a fantastic job just adding pieces.
We got Mac Hollins too, former Falcon.
Mac Hollins, he's serviceable at best, man. But I think the receiver that we need to hone in and key on is Kayshon Boutte, man. On Sunday, this kid's been electric for you guys. There's something about these LSU wide receivers, man. When they get to the big leagues, man, is something special. But Kayshon Boutte, 5 touchdowns the last 5 games, very explosive. So that's something that we need to contain, right? The Falcons have done, in my opinion, and it could be biased, but a great job not allowing, the big plays over the top of their heads, right?
Yeah.
One of the better teams in the NFL at negating that. So it's going to be a tough matchup on Sunday in that
How you
regard.
feel? And y'all play mostly man, right? Man coverage.
No, so we run a lot of zone. We run a
Okay.
lot of zone, yeah.
So how you feel about Stephon Diggs then? If Kayshon Boutte gets a lot of attention, y'all want to crowd the line and start the run. How you feel about Stephon Diggs and what have you seen from Diggs?
So so Diggs still serviceable. I think he still has a lot left in the tank. Right now he's the leader at the wide receiver spot for y'all. 1 touchdown to 450 yards receiving. So I mean, it's a philosophy that we don't have in a Falcons defense. And if you ask a lot of Falcon fans, they want this one-on-one, man to man. And I would strap AJ Terrell on Stephon Diggs. Now, will that happen? Maybe sometimes, but we have a defense that doesn't allow the corners to travel with the best player on the other side. So we're going to be pretty much in our zones, and that's going to be it. So you guys may exploit some matchups. Mike Hughes has been serviceable. I keep using.
Is Jesse Bates going to play?
Jesse Bates, I think, is trending in the right direction to play.
Okay.
The ankle injury is not serious whatsoever. He's no threat to miss this game. But weirder things have happened because I say that because we saw Saturday night. Drake London added to the injury report.
I'm glad you asked. I'm about to ask you about him.
And then he was deemed out at 11:30 on Sunday. We was like, what happened? So, but Drake London is trending in the right direction to play on Sunday. He looks like he's going to strap up and go.
Let's get to the match everybody want to know about. Drake London versus Christian Gonzalez. How you feel about that match? Drake London, I think he's a top 10 wide receiver when he's healthy. He's had some hamstring issues, some other problems going on.
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez, when he's on the field, he's good, man. And you see what he did to Jerry Jeudy last season. All season. He's been playing real good last couple of weeks. How you feel about on the matchup, Drake London going up against Chris Gonzalez? I sent my boy, I think early in the week, Chris Gonzalez said that Drake London was his hardest matchup in college.
When he was in Colorado and USC, that matchup, absolutely. But iron sharpens iron, right? So these are two of the top guys in their positions in the league right now. Christian Gonzalez, man, I was fan number 1 of him when he was coming out of Oregon. A couple years back. Boy, did I want him in a Falcons uniform to pair with AJ Terrell at the time, but it didn't happen. New England reaped the benefit of grabbing that young man. But Christian Gonzalez has, he sees it week in and week out with the receiving core, not just in the AFC East, but the AFC conference overall. There's a lot of big dogs in the AFC, and he stands the test, man. He holds his own. He's a physical, lanky corner, man. I appreciate his play, and he was the same way at Colorado and Oregon. So it's great to see him just get better and just become the All-Pro, soon to be perennial All-Pro for the New England Patriots, man.
So I know Ken just asked you what's your early impression on the Patriots overall, but I wanted to ask you about our defense if you've been watching some of that. We are known for giving up a touchdown first drive. I think 6 out of 18 scored on the drive against us this year. What you think, if you've been watching any film or anything like that, what you think about our defense? Or whatever.
Yeah, so you can tell that Mike Vrabel has this team playing the right way. It's going to just take time to, actually buy into the system that he's bringing to the New England Patriots, right? We're seeing resurgences from guys like Kayvon Chason, a guy that was an afterthought in the league, leads the team in sacks with 5.5. You guys dropped the bag on Milton Williams in the offseason, and it's playing major dividends because he plays good off of Christian Barrymore, plays good off of Chris Tongan, and you guys have the right collection of bodies in the middle of this defense. I think if anything is susceptible on this Patriots defense is their linebackers, and I know I just spoke highly of Robert Spillane, the guy that you guys signed from the Raiders. He's the one mainstay. Anthony Jeffries, he's Jennings, excuse me, he's doing his thing, but I think there is a matchup exploitment there if it's called upon, and on certain sets, in 12 personnel or even 11 personnel, he might have to, kick out and just go man to man with a guy like Kyle Pitts or a Darnell Mooney if we're shifting him on his side. So there's things, there's things about this New England Patriots defense. While the defense looks good on paper, there's still work to be done. I'll tell you this, you mentioned about giving up a touchdown or two. That is absolute fact. Red zone defense is at the bottom of the league right now. You guys allow, I think 70% of the trips into the red zone just to be the points that need to be had. But overall, I think it's a unit that's heading in the right direction. Maybe you guys going into the bye. Or no, did you guys have a bye already? Or you
No,
guys?
we got the last bye. We got
The last bye.
I
Okay.
buy until like another 3-4 more weeks.
Okay. But overall, as it stands now, this Pats defense, it's up and coming. It's up and coming right now.
Just a couple more things before we let you go and before we do our
No.
predictions. Michael Penix, what are your early impressions? I know it's a short season right now. He didn't play a lot last year. Because I'm assuming Penix gonna start Sunday. I mean, he's probably gonna start Sunday. Or go ahead.
We're bracing. We're praying for that. He looked good. He looked good in practice.
What's your gut feeling right now? You think he starts?
My gut feeling says that he starts, and this is the thing for me, right? You start a guy that's not actually ready to start, spells doom for the Falcons, right? We need everybody to be healthy because it's a long season from this point on. We've already had our bye, and you don't want to risk injuries, right? At 3-4, one more loss. We could be staring at, being sellers at the trade deadline. There's a couple pieces that we may, need to part ways with. But right now, my early assessment of Penix, it's mixed, right? There's things that he does well. And there's things that he needs to work on. The things that he needs to work on, I think, are much of the things that he needed to work on from college translating into the pros, which is his footwork, his throwing mechanics. Sometimes the ball just sails away from him on easy completions, and it just doesn't happen. A couple weeks ago, he had a clear completion to Drake London, but just overthrew him by a mile. Those are things that, you want those back. You want him to, hit the books and be like, all right, I need to settle down in this moment because I know my guy is going to be there. But overall, I think Penix has a grit and just a dog to him that we sorely missed at that position. Obviously, moving from Kirk Cousins, which is a whole different dynamic of a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
But they're categorized the same as pocket passers. But the fluidity, the movement, Michael Penix has that better than Kirk. We just need to see that a little bit more going forward. But I think sky's the limit for Michael Penix, and this kid's going to turn out to be a good one for the Falcons.
Yeah. A little bit off topic. Who's your MVP? Who's your MVP right now in the league?
Of the league?
Of the league.
Woof.
Give me top 3 candidates.
Man, that's a good question. That's a real good question. Because I haven't really given it that much thought. But obviously, if I had to start at number 3, you look at the kid that we're playing against. It's Drake May.
Yeah. Okay.
Drake May he's been balling, man. 118 passer rating. Just being as cautious as diligent with the football. 15 TDs, 3 INTs. A couple other guys. Got to throw in Baker Mayfield, right? I hate to say that because he's in our division, but Baker Mayfield, he's balling. He's balling, point blank period. You got to give him his flowers. And right now, the clear cut number 1. It's tough to say, man.
Probably Mahomes, probably.
I'm over him, man. I'm so sick of him, bro.
I think Mays won. I mean, I ain't been biased.
Yeah.
I tell you right, I ain't no biased fan, but when you see my prediction, you might really say I'm not biased. But
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could throw Mahomes' name in there. It looks like the Chiefs are rebounding and getting right. He's getting his weapons back, and now you're seeing what Kansas City's offense is all about, right? Just lighting up the scoreboard, and that's exactly what they've done thus far.
All right, bold prediction for Sunday for the Falcons.
That's my team. I love them till the casket drops, man. But it's just there's too much going into this game that we need to figure out, right? And we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Our play calling is not there yet. It's been Jekyll and Hyde all year. We've been going peaks and valleys, man, and we haven't shown the consistency that we need. We're coming off. We're on a 2-game skid, and I don't think that we've gotten better from one loss to another. Could we show a little bit better effort in this one? We have no choice. But as it stands, I have to go New England in this one. It could low key be a trap game for y'all, right? I think that's always a possibility. But yeah, I still feel like New England, comes out on top in this one, man. I'd be shocked if Atlanta wins, and that's coming from me, a Falcon fan, brother.
Go ahead, D. Prediction.
Yeah.
Bold prediction and prediction. Because he already, it was a bold prediction, but he gave his prediction. So go ahead.
Bold prediction. Travion Henderson gonna have another 70+ yard rushing game.
Ooh.
I think he's gonna carry over what he did against Cleveland. Yeah, I got us winning 27-23.
All right, my bold prediction. I think Robinson is going to be the first bat to go over 50 yards. Have a 50-yard game against us, 50-yard rush against us. He can get over 100 yards. And we're going to lose this game 24-20 to the Falcons. I just got a feeling. And Dia tell you, we did the schedule out in May, and I said, bro, that Falcons game scares me to death.
Wow.
I'm gonna say I gotta stick with it. I gotta stick with it.
Gotcha.
I think the Falcons win Sunday 24-20. Y'all coming off an embarrassing loss.
Right.
We already not the greatest. We don't won two straight home games, but got a consecutive home games going on now. I think Falcons come in and beat us 24-20. I'm gonna stick with it. That's just my gut feeling. Because I think we're looking ahead because we got Tampa Bay next week.
Yeah.
We got Tampa Bay next week. And I think 5-game winning streak. We due for a loss. So I'm going 24-20 Falcons, and Robinson will be the reason why. Cause I think y'all been bad on the road, y'all been inconsistent. I don't think y'all can continue being that bad. I think because y'all it's not a talent issue, it's not a personnel issue. Yeah, so I think y'all come in Sunday 20. And listen, if I'm wrong, me and D was talking earlier. I come out, I make it say I was wrong, but I've been saying this since May. D will tell you, right? I've been saying this since May. I said, hey, if Falcons guy circled it, that's gonna be a loss for us.
Wow,
so we'll see what happens Sunday,
brother.
but. You would know better than me. Go ahead.
It'd be great for me because I'm gonna be at the game, so I know I ain't gonna have a lot of people telling me this, that, and the third. 28-3.
You got good seats. You got good seats.
Yeah, I got tunnel seats. I'm right there, man. I'm in row 15, by the tunnel. So I'm at that.
Hey, I'm sticking with it. 24-20. I wanted to change it so bad, but I can't. It's just a feeling I got, and I could be wrong. If I'm right, I look like a genius.
Yeah,
but I'm going 24-20 Falcons. That's what I'm going. I don't care who doesn't like it, who don't agree. I'm just going. That's my gut feeling. 24-20 Falcons. I think it'll be a good game, though.
I love it, man. Man. Hopefully that's the outcome, man. But you know what? Once it's all said and done, man, what I want is
I know my mention's about to be going crazy. Go ahead.
Boy. I just want the player safety, man, for both teams. Both teams have had injuries, more so on the Falcons side. Just to be a clean game where both teams come out of it unscathed and healthy, and they can move on with their respected seasons, man. But wow. You're picking the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm going with it.
All right.
It's I just feel it, man. But we'll see though. We'll see. Hey, Berto, from the 95 Sports Talk Falcon Show. I appreciate it, man.
Of course,
appreciate
man.
You coming on. Let everybody know where they can find you. You got a website, other social media, and all that.
I got you right now. I'll plug it in now, man. But first and foremost, man, Ken, thank you so much for reaching out. You and your host, man. Really, it's been an honor. It's been fun. If anybody from my platform who's watching, please, man, go and give this man a subscription to his platform, Ken's Talk, Pat's Talk, excuse me. You can find him on YouTube. As for me, man, it's your boy Berto, host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show on YouTube, man. You can find me here every Wednesday night as myself and Bro Talk. Reporting Eligible comes on every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. So please, man, go and check us out, man. We try to give the Falcon fans in the NFL world, the best content possible, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, guys. Everybody, a lot of people come in tonight. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're sharing the content. Make sure you all subscribe to the Kansas Past Talk Patriots podcast. Go over to Berto's link and his YouTube channel. Go check him out over there. Hey, watch party Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We got to beat these Falcons. I don't think it's going to happen though. So I'm going. I'm sticking with my score 24-20. Hey, my comments about to be going crazy, but I'm preparing for it though.
That's all good, man.
In this business, you got to be bold and you got to stay with it. And that's what I'm gonna do.
Hey, that's true.
Yeah, so watch party Sunday. Make sure you come check your boy out Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. D, you got anything left?
Nah, man. Just hope you have a good one at the game, man.
Appreciate that, man. I'm gonna be
Also,
safe.
this show is powered by the
Absolutely.
Sportsline Media, so make sure you guys go over there at www.sportslinemedia.com. Go ahead, Berto.
Yo, no, I'm just he mentioned about being safe and then just enjoying the game. I intend to do all the above, man, and just bring the
Yes,
energy,
sir.
man. Hopefully, my energy brings us a W, man. We'll see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Hey, we're gonna get up again, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, hit my line. You got it, man.
Yes, sir. Go Pats.
All right, gentlemen.